Why is it always up?
Great, you're having your beer and all the things involved. So today we have, for the agenda, we have a keynote, followed by an announcement, and then we have really lots of job calls, as we call them, talent pitches, namely 4. So great, all the cool talent has gathered here for the opportunities, and as the concluding of the evening, as always, we have the pitch competition. I do hope, I'm not sure, but I do hope we have the prize, as always. Please check, ladies. Okay, so start with the keynote, and it's kind of symbolic, I think. Because we, as a presenter, as a headliner for tonight, we have a person who has been beating the path of tech startups before many of you knew the word tech startup, right? Here in this part of the world. So he has lots of accolades and accomplishments. He probably will be exactly shy talking about, but. I immediately, I think, for a slogan for your, I don't know the heck you're going to talk about, but the slogan would be like California bust, or if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere, whatever. Okay, without much further ado, Lauris Liberts.
Hi. So for those who don't know me, I am Lauris Liberts. I am the founder of the social network Draugi MLV. This year we celebrate 10 years anniversary. So I'm a veteran, basically. So today I'm going to talk about my experience of going, or basically moving to California and trying to launch a business and launching it and building it. And this mug has played a very, very crucial role in my success in California, because thanks to this quote, "Get shit done," we were noticed by a couple of bloggers, we were noticed by a couple influential people, and they retweeted, reblogged, retumbled, and this quote has sold a couple thousand on mugs and posters, and thanks to this quote, I actually got a visa for me to allow to stay in US. But it all started in December in 2010, and me and my wife decided, okay, this is enough. This is we've accomplished something in Latvia, and we tried to launch tech startups for the world, but we failed all the time, and the failure was due to our mindset. It was like, okay, so let's come up with a product, let's put it in Latvian market, let's test it out, let's advertise on Draugiem, and later on, hopefully launch it somewhere else. But it never worked, so we decided that is enough. Let's just move to US and let's see what happens. And since we didn't know if we're gonna stay there for an extended period of time, we didn't know if we're gonna like it or enjoy it. So we actually went there as students. I know you can go without visa. You can stay for 3 months, but we didn't know for how many months we're gonna stay in order to get comfortable. And we went to an English school. And this is actually a photo I shot with my classmates. They were from Brazil usually, or from Saudi Arabia. I had a classmate who was actually a prince from Saudi Arabia. And this is early morning. Obviously they're a lot younger than me. I'm 37, then I was something, 34 something. They were like 18, 19, so they had partied obviously all night long, so this is how I usually met them in the morning. And after 3 months at school, we kind of decided, okay, this is pretty nice here. I did not work yet. I was just going to school like a student, and it was tiring because you had to be at school at 8 and you finished school at 3 o'clock. And if you didn't go, your visa would be revoked. So you would be basically illegal if you wanted to stay. And so after 3 months, we went back to Latvia, came back to US, to California, and I moved in Call-Oft. And Call-Oft is just like Tech Hub. So it's a co-working space. That is the first co-working space, and I actually was lucky enough to get the last available spot, as they later said to me. But nevertheless, right now in California, there are tens and tens of co-working spaces. So if you ever want to move to California, don't be afraid. There are enough Call-Ofts for everyone. So again, I was with a tourist visa after my student visa, and I spent 3 months in Call-Oft. And I was warned by the U.S. Embassy here in Riga that I was not allowed to work. I was allowed to kind of explore, to talk to people, but I could not work. And I obeyed it very strictly, and I did not work. But when I came back after 6 months, I decided, all right, so we're gonna move. We're gonna move, and I applied for investor visa. I know you had a representative from U.S. Embassy, and he said that it's enough for you to have $50,000 and you can get a visa. Well, for me it was slightly larger sum. They required a little larger. It was about $100,000, but nevertheless, I was able to get visa. So I had to have both. Good papers. I had this big document stack of business plans of how I'm going to hire American people, how I'm going to advertise, how I'm going to develop, and I also had to have these $100,000. And afterwards, I received visa. It says it's 2 years, and so I had a time limit of 2 years where I had to prove that I have a business model, and I have a business, not business model. I have a business, and that they would be okay for me to stay there. And so I had this very limited space where I had to prove to them that I am eligible for staying there. And so here it goes. So we started with a couple of projects. My first one was Sports Snaps. Sports Snaps was actually a very cool idea, and I still like it. And maybe I dropped it too fast, but the idea is as follows. When I moved to LA, I ran my first marathon. And when you finish the marathon, you receive these emails with your photos. And those photos are taken by professional photographers hired by the organizer, and you usually pay about $80, $90 for 2-3 photos. And I found it too expensive. So I decided there must be a cheaper way. And I created Sports Snaps, that is a crowdsourced sports photography website. So anyone with a camera standing on the sideways of any athletic event where athletes would have numbers, and they would take photos of those athletes with those numbers. They would go afterwards home, upload the pictures to the Sports Snaps, and tag each photo with appropriate bib number. So if I'm a runner and I have number 66, I would go home, enter 66, and I would find people who would have uploaded those photos with number 66. And indeed, we had a couple events in. We had a couple events in California. We had events in Poland, in Latvia, in Estonia, and the thing turned. Like photos were uploaded and prices were set, but there was one slight problem. Just very few people actually bought those photos. And I calculated, I pulled up some data from statistics of how many athletes actually race a year in the US, and it was like 20-something million. And I calculated the percentage of how many photos we actually sold. In the end, it turned out to be only in a best case scenario, only like a couple $1 million business. So, I mean, it would be a nice business, but I would devote, let's say, 10 years of my life, and eventually I would have revenues of $2 million. So I found it a little too crazy. So here we go. So I spent about 6 months building sports naps, and it went nowhere. Afterwards, I built for my wife a fashion website with interchangeable shoes, accessories, etc. And the lesson here was that whoever saw the website, whoever saw the product, they were saying, "Oh, this is the best product. I know a fashion designer here, I know a PR there," and everybody was vouching for you. But in the end, it turned out a flop. And again, we spent 4 months, and it went nowhere. On his sides, we had desk time, which actually we were building the business plan to get the visa, but the sales process was too expensive for US, so we kept it here in Latvia. So we had about $5,000 of sales. I had 0 employees. Why 0 employees? Because I was working alone. Maybe my wife was helping me a little bit. But in order for me to get visa, I needed to have at least 5 employees. So I basically blew a year and a little more, and I had 8 months left in order for me to extend visa. And that's where Starter Vitamins would get you done. So again, it started with a simple need. I needed to have cool posters in Drogem office here in Riga, and I started searching online, and I couldn't really find anything. And we decided, all right, let's build, let's see what happens, because it's a pretty simple product. I mean, you need only a couple designs, very simple website. We built it on Shopify, so it was up and running in a couple of weeks, and it turned out to be pretty successful. The only trouble was I couldn't find a printer. I couldn't find a person or a company who would print for us, because although I'm in tech business, I'm not a techie, and I had to kind of, okay, I'm going to print it myself, so how do I do that? Okay, here's the printer. Does it print right? Does it print the good quality? So I had to explore all these things that were very alien to me, that I didn't know anything of, but eventually I kind of cracked it, and we bought a printer, and we installed it in a house. The printer cost $3,000, which is actually pretty cheap, and so I started making posters. I was the printer, and my wife was the packer. And this is a room which is about 3 by 4 meters, and this is how we started, in a house. And here she's packing Get You Done mugs. And Get You Done mugs also, it was a small experiment. I saw on a different website matte black mugs that says good fucking design. Sorry for swearing, but so anyways, and we decided, all right, let's create these Get You Done mugs and see what the market reaction is. And we put up on a website 70 mugs, and they were gone in 10 minutes. So we had something on our hands. And the deadline for visa extension approached, and we needed an office. And the office we needed because we had to go back to Latvia, and we had to have an employee who would actually stay and print those mugs and posters while we were away. So we rented this place. This place is about 200 square meters. It costs $3,000. I don't know how much it's in Latvia, but I find it rent is more expensive in abroad than here in Latvia, that's for sure. So, and I remember writing to the embassy and telling them that, okay, so we have about $15,000 in sales, and they were like, not good enough. Then we were like, okay, another month goes by, and I'm like, okay, now we have 25. All right, this is looking better. And finally we reached $40,000, and we had this one employee, although visa required that we would have 5, and I was convinced. Yeah, I was afraid to go back and ask for the visa, but and again, I submitted all these papers, and but thankfully they were okay, and I got a visa for next 5 years. So this is a story. Right now, so we have these products that are currently operating in Burbank, in California, in Los Angeles, and this year we're going to make about 2 million in sales. So starting from a little apartment, little room, we've built up this business that employs full-time and part-time. Right now we have 10 employees in California, and especially for Printful, things are looking great. So the key takeaways. So if any one of you wants to try out how it is to live abroad, to go to US, to meet like-minded people, I'd say just go. I mean, it's very easy. You don't need any visa. You just go wherever in New York, Silicon Valley, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and you rent a desk, and the desk usually costs about $250 a month or $300, and you would meet people just like you. And when I was going, I did not have an idea about Star Vitamins or Printful or anything. I mean, it's a journey, and once you let yourself in, it might be that you'll find something or not. And I find it very easy to go and just to explore. So if I were you, and if I was going to Los Angeles, for example, I would have a business that would have a business model. I mean, it's very cool to build the next Snapchat or Twitter or any of these websites that initially did not make any money, and by initially I mean the first 5 years. I mean, we regular people, mortal people, we should have a business model, and that is actually a difference between Silicon Valley and Los Angeles. That in Silicon Valley they make these very long lasting bets, and they put up on and they risk with Twitters and Snapchat, although Snapchat is from Los Angeles, but they have these businesses that don't generate money and they're fine with it. If you're in LA, most of the investors will say, hey, where are your revenues? And for you or for me, in order to survive in that environment, I mean, I would go bust if I was building something nice that maybe one day would make me a celebrity, but not necessarily that would help me survive today. So, previously you saw a website, it said that we had this little project called Friendly Bracelets. And Friendly Bracelets is actually my first international successful project, even though it generated only $2,000. But the idea I got was when I was in San Francisco and I was walking down the street and I saw this lady on a street corner, and she was making these handmade friendship bracelets. And I thought, okay, this is cool, she's making on a street corner. Why don't I bring it to the internet and people would be able to customize it and order. And here it goes, it's $2,000 of sales every month. And if you get $2,000, I mean, you can survive anywhere. So I would have a business model. I know I repeat this like for ages, but it's true, and I still believe in that. If you're a developer, you're in paradise, because everyone is looking for developers. Everyone, even me. I'm not a developer, but they would ask me if I know developers in Eastern Europe, including Latvia, that I could find, that I could hire, that I could be in a middleman and help them create their projects. So if you're a developer, it's so much easier. But one thing, keep in mind, American Embassy does not want you to work on a regular tourist visa. So if they catch you, you can get in a lot of trouble. Craigslist was my friend. I found all the employees and I found the premises, and with employees, it's a very interesting story. When you put up an ad and you suddenly start receiving these emails, you don't have a clue what you're receiving, because those names they're not like familiar names that we know here. And you don't know if it's a girl, if it's a guy, if it's white or black, or I mean, you don't have any reference point whatsoever. And I made a couple mistakes that I looked at the CV and I was like, oh, okay, let's come to the interview. And I would receive these pretty weird people. So my next kind of step up was I was calling them first and talking on the phone, and just judging by the voice, I would make my decision if I want to have them in an interview or not. So that was very, very effective. I could instantly kind of get rid of all the people I did not want to meet in person. And it's okay to start here. Look at Ask FM or Infogram and Selfie and all these companies that are building, and you don't necessarily have to be there. I mean, it does open your mind, and there are a couple of services that you could not build here, and you would build them there. But in most cases, it works. And for us, it has worked that we hired American Latvians or Canadian Latvians or Australian Latvians. And it helps. They have this mentality that we don't have. And when they're talking to their peers in media or customer support, it really helps that they come from the regions where we don't come from. So, and there are a bunch of these people here in Latvia, and they are very often very, very, very good. So if I was not moving over to California, if I was building a business, an international business here, with a focus on Western markets, to US, then I would hire a Canadian, American, etc., Latvian. All right, that's about it. That's my journey. Thank you very much.
Them arriving in a minute, and I'll be, because we're recorded, I'll sort of, because we don't have a second mic, do we? Yeah, I'll kind of either pass it to the guys or repeat the question then.
Hi Lauris, thanks for your presentation. Do you have already the next idea after Startup Vitamins in mind? The next project?
Well, Startup Vitamins, I'd say it was a step-up stone. Printful is the business that is more serious, and Printful is a business I wish I knew before we started Startup Vitamins. And Printful is a fulfillment company for other little startups that do want to sell their print products like T-shirts and posters, but they don't have either machinery or they don't want to deal with it. And we have built a service that prints for their customers, and we are the invisible middleman that ships directly to their customers with their branding and with their stickers. And Printful is growing by about 10 to 20% every month, and I have kind of grasped the competitive environment, and I'd say we are one of the largest already. We are one of the best, judging by the comments left on Shopify platform, for example. And I hope that we'll have a very, very bright future. But yes, I always have more ideas in my head, and that's why I'm here in Latvia, to kick some ass.
Yeah, the same thing. Okay, over there.
Yep. You had a successful exit from Draugiem. Would you mind sharing some details? Thank you.
Yeah, so the question is, I had a successful exit from Draugiem. Could I comment on that? I have not had a successful exit from Draugiem. I had my previous business partners bringing me to, there's a litigation, and in order to keep my assets safe, I have found a solution to keep them safe. But yeah, I mean, that is something that I don't like about Latvia, where anyone with some stupid papers can go after you, and you would be involved in some trials for years and years. So I am still a Draugian, and all right.
My slight comment on top of that, the keyword was years and years. Yep.
So it seems you said that there are some services you can build here and some you wouldn't build here but build over there. Could you comment to that?
Yeah, so for example, Printful. I would not be able to build it here because the shipping costs by mail would be so much higher, and it would take so much longer. In US, to ship a poster across US, that would cost me $5. To ship it from here to US, that would cost me, I don't know, $25 or $30. And the other important thing is customer support. If you have a business that is focused on those markets, I would at least have one customer support person who would talk directly to customers. Americans love to talk, and they love to talk on the phone, and they love to talk to Americans, because I know that we Latvians, when Americans meet, they chit-chat about nothing like for 5 minutes. I'm not that person, but I'm happy I have this American person sitting at Printful and talking to other customers in the language they understand. So I would have at least a customer support.
A question related to your businesses. It seems that most of them are combined with IT plus some physical goods. And do you believe more in strategy to have this kind of business, or more just going with pure IT?
So when you have a business with physical attributes like T-shirts and posters, on one side you have a proper business because you are selling something tangible. On the other hand, it's so much harder to scale. Thank you very much. Yeah, so it's so much harder to scale. But I wish I had another business like Draugian, because any other extra user does not require any extra effort, so it's so much easier. And I do have an idea for a new business idea that would be just purely internet, that would have virality, that would have social aspect, blah blah, and money. So all these great features.
The next question then. Okay, you may think for a while. I have a couple of them, if I may. One is you mentioned that basically you came up with the startup vitamins like less than a year before you had to, get rich or keep trying, or leave the US. Is it, like, from mindset perspective, is it cool to be really pushed against the wall or in a corner? Does it help? Did it help you?
It definitely helped me, but I am constantly in the mindset that my businesses might go bankrupt any day. So I have a couple employees, a couple of my colleagues here, so they know that I might be pretty pushy for any project that we're delivering, because I have a rule that if it takes, actually we have one poster as well, if it takes too much time to deliver, most probably that project is never going to finish. So my rule is that project should be launched within at least 3 months. But answering to your question, it was pretty stressful, especially for my wife. I mean, she was like, okay, I want to live in sunny California, but where's the business? And so it does put you against the wall, and it does make you work faster, but it's stressful.
Okay, that's I think a great point of all the stress being put onto the significant others for the startup. This is beware, ladies, or the significant other guys. Why? I know the answer, but partially because I have asked that question to you in person. But why everyone worships Silicon Valley? Why did you choose LA?
I'm not sure why they worship Valley, because it sucks. It's pretty ugly. It's very, very boring. If you're a guy, good luck finding a girl. And that's why a lot of smart people are actually choosing San Francisco instead. And maybe they're working in a valley and taking the bus. But living in the valley is it's super boring. And why LA? Because it's down south. It's more down south. The weather is better. There are very good restaurants, and the nature.
Swim in the sea.
And the nature is all around. And we actually, when we moved to US, we were actually considering Silicon Valley, because like, okay, I am a tech guy. I need to be in Silicon Valley. So we went to San Francisco, and it was mid-June or July, and it was freezing. It was like 15 Celsius. And I was like, shoot, this is very, very cold. So in San Francisco, it's always autumn. Never summer, never. So yeah. So, and then we went down to LA just to meet a friend, and we were like, okay, this is a pretty ugly city as well, but it's pretty comfortable to live. If you're a tourist, there's nothing to see, and people are usually pretty upset when they go to Hollywood, and especially they stay in Hollywood, or they go to downtown. They're very, very upset of what they're actually seeing. So next time you go to LA, write me an email, and I'll tell you where to stay in order to avoid this disasters.
General tourist crap. The question all that.
You can have the mic.
You can have the mic, sure.
Speak
Takes some time.
We're going to have this mic box.
Yeah, the catch box. We did. We read
Some 6 or 7 years ago, I read an interview with you on a plane when you were asked why Draugen is so successful, and you replied that it can only happen in such a small country as Latvia. I remember this quote. Well, yeah. But then Facebook came and stuff, which is global and the biggest. And can you comment on this? That something as successful as Draugen can happen only in Latvia, like small countries.
Did you elaborate that? What you said?
Well, I changed my mind. I think I was pretty young, and I really didn't know what was going on, and yeah, I changed my mind very constantly. So whatever I said today may be the opposite in a week.
Okay. Great answer.
Vakar jautājums, vai jūs plānojat investēt arī Latvijā, ne tikai IT, bet arī kādos citos uzņēmuma darbības veidos?
Should I translate it?
No.
Not yet. We wanted to experiment, and we did launch a company that would invest, and we did receive a couple applications, but maybe some of them were good, but it looks like I usually have so many more ideas in my own head that I can only pursue my ideas, and in the best case, ideas that are in companies. So no, we stopped doing that, and I don't. Maybe when I become very old and I can't come up with any new ideas, then yes, I will try to invest. And here's an interesting thing that I kind of lost touch with those people who are 20 years old or 18 years old. And eventually I will need to find people who are at that age and who are capable of translating what they're using to me in order to make some products. And that is an issue, I think, in the tech business where I'm 37 and I already feel old, and I don't really know. I mean, I know what Snapchat is, but I don't really find where the value is. So that is interesting.
Okay. Any more questions? I have one still. It probably could be the last one, but probably a nasty one. You know me. I mean, you start when you moved to US. You had the experience of Draugen and a couple of other businesses here in Latvia. And you actually didn't go. You didn't go back like backpacking. I mean, you didn't squat. You didn't live under the bridge. If you don't have that, behind you, and okay, the visa obviously was pushing, but the conditions in general weren't that pushing, right? Would you still be doing that? Just hypothesizing, if you'll be like 15 years younger than you were, would you be doing that and paying that to stake of the risk? Because lots of people cannot be compared to you when you went there. So would you still be thinking it's a good idea?
10 years ago, you did not have these ready-made tools that would allow you to reach global audiences or to sell something to them. And now, without any technology, you can create a shop on Shopify or Etsy, or implement payments with Stripe or Braintree. And I have a friend in Los Angeles, and he's not a programmer. And he made this website where he sells healthy snacks by subscription. So you subscribe, let's say, to a small box for $30 a month, and he would send out to you a box of healthy snacks. And I was like, what the hell? But it turned out to be a pretty good idea, and his sales are a couple of 100,000, if not millions, right now. And he just built the website on WordPress. And he built the website on WordPress and using WooForms. What was the name of the company where you can embed WooForms? Yeah. Yeah. So he basically built a website just taking these ready-made pieces and assembling something for him. So yeah, I would still do it. I mean, when we started out, I had to hire a programmer that I just happened to know, and these days it's the same problem. You have to find someone. You have to convince the first person in order to make your business viable. And sure, I mean, I'm a little bit spoiled. I have designers and programmers and stuff, etc. But if I were back to where I was, I would do the same with just less resources.
Okay. Any last questions over that? No? Okay. So with the few tips from the field, we all had the privilege of Lauris Liberts. And a very important announcement, fellas, right?
Sure.
I have a quick announcement about one of the upcoming events. This is actually going to be the last event here in this space because, as some or most of you know, Tech Riga is moving to a bit bigger location. So, Startup Sauna is a Finnish accelerator, and they are coming to Riga in 27th of March. And the whole day they are going to run a mini acceleration program here for new startups. So if you have a startup yourself in an early stage and you want some coach advice or mentor advice, you're welcome to come. Also, you can spread the news to your fellow startuppers. And now this is not working. Okay, never mind. Just go to startupsauna.com website, and there's also the application form. They have separate forms for each city. Just find Riga and apply. The deadline is 20th of March, so don't be too late. Also, currently we are still open. We have some open slots for coaches. If you feel like you're good enough to be a coach, you can apply, or we will see among ourselves if this is a good idea for you to be here. And welcome.
Okay. So all right, then we move smoothly into the talent pitch part, and I have the order here. Before we start, I'd like to mention once again this great monthly meetup has been made possible because of Latvijas Garantija. Yeah, so step up, cook step. What a party step up. So just in 3 minutes. Yeah, why are you looking for this?
Okay, so hello everyone. We would like to present Cookstep, a social cooking guide. So meet Bob. He's 23 years old guy who would love to learn how to cook. So he tried several ways to improve his cooking skills, but every time he got disappointed as he saw this huge text of recipes, and which could not help him to get involved in the cooking process. So nothing helped him. But until he met Cookstep, which made Bob so excited. So what actually Cookstep is? Cookstep will help people to learn how to cook in a fun way. So the main feature of this application is that our application will guide the people through the cooking process. So to achieve that, each recipe will be divided into special time phases, and where user will cook the recipe step by step. To do it with more fun, we have created a special encouragement system. So every time a user will cook something, he will receive extra experience points to open another recipe or to make a contest within the other users. So the application niche, the target niche, is situated between the following groups of people. So it's the people who would love to learn how to cook, it's active social network users, and also people who would use the smartphone in their everyday life. At the moment, we have about 300 different recipes received from the blog channels for free. Also, we have a will to collaborate, received a will to collaborate from one restaurant located in Riga. So our application has a lot of free recipes. So to get profit, we would like to sell special recipe packs, for example, created by some professional cooks. Also, to get profit and to get promotion, we would like to use the following scenario. Every time user will cook something and take a photo of his masterpiece, he will receive a special discount to the restaurant to try out what he has cooked before. One word about our team. Our team consists of 6 young and enthusiastic people who have experience in app development and also in solving some different problems as well. Our team has a lot of things to do, so our future plans are the following. The first and the most important plan is to create a prototype till May 2014. Also, we would like to find a source for recipes and also the restaurants to collaborate with. Our team would like to make a promotional campaign as well to get more users. So thanks a lot for your attention. I hope I made it in 3 minutes. And also special thanks to University of Latvia organized course Garage 36 to help us to develop our idea. So thanks a lot for the attention. Please ask any questions.
Were you looking for employees or?
Yes, it's the question.
Yeah, okay. No, I was not following.
We are ready. We just are open for all the interested ones. Okay. So, yeah.
Garage 36. Is it a trademark infringement? Okay. Question over there.
So you didn't explicitly specify it's about food. Does this apply to like math and stuff, you know?
Say it again.
So you didn't explicitly specify this is about food. So does this apply to math and, you know, drugs?
Okay, thanks a lot. Do I need to repeat the question?
Okay. Okay, I'll rephrase. Can you explore other market verticals?
Okay, yeah. It will be more tolerant question. Thanks for the question. No, our team is specifying only in food, so we are planning to make, as you saw on the first slide, it's a social cooking guide. So no drugs, no math. Yeah, no, just food cooking. Okay, food cooking. Only food. Maybe drinks as well. But
Here it starts. Okay, thank you. So the next one, pitching for talent, is language online. Did I spell it right? Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, my name is Lauris, and I'm here to present languages online. I have a read that. I have an idea for a while how to help people to achieve communication between cultures and different languages. And I am looking for a team who can help me to develop this project. Why the communication and understanding is so important? From the Bible we know, when people have common speech and one language, they decide to be more powerful than God and build the city with the tower till heaven. And there would be not any force to stop them. Then God confused and mixed their language, and people stopped to understand each other, and their plans about the city and the tower were ruined. We all know jokes about miscommunication. To avoid these misunderstandings and confusions, we need to learn languages and understand each other. Language does not mean only words, it's a part of a culture as well. No better thing to learn the language from the native speaker. Benefits of languages online are learning language from the native speaker first of all. Secondly, you can learn 24/7. Thirdly, you have personal attention and live conversation. Fourthly, you can choose tutor qualification level accordingly to your budget. And finally, there is available free chat for everyone to keep language alive. And now, a few words. You can be a teacher and a student simultaneously. And now, a few words about myself. All my life experience as a teacher and education travel advisor lead me to this idea. As we know, the idea is only 1% of, and the other 99 is hard work. And this is the starting point. So I'm looking forward to a team who can join me. Thank you.
Thank you. I have an immediate question of what skills, what competences, what skill sets are you looking for?
As you say, this presentation is done by me in PowerPoint, and I started to learn PowerPoint 2 days ago. And thank you, Andrew, for your encouragement. Andrew is the guy who told me about how to do the PowerPoint. So I know everything about my specialty. I'm a teacher, and I work as an education travel agent for more than 20 years. But I do not know IT, and I can't create a website. I do not understand these old junk words like JavaScript, Linux, and other swear words for me. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm looking for help. And this is only the beginning. But I think that it's better if I have idea instead of I know JavaScript and Python, but do not have idea.
Through both ways, I think. But what, again, very specifically, what are you trying to accomplish specifically? Not broadly, everyone being happy and rich, but specifically with the project.
Okay. Salam alaikum. Anna Lauris, la takalam arabi. Shukran. Masala. That's the words in which I start with talking with and finishing talking with Arabic student. Ni hao, sheisho, sanxian, which Chinese, and minimum Lauris, quidisunion, and this is in Estonian, and so on. I know in all languages couple of phrases which break ice of me and my student, and I understood the communication in between people. It's very important.
Okay, I think we have to move forward, but folks, if you have further questions of how you can help your research, just Splendid news is that we don't have 4 talent pitches, we have 5 tonight. But there's a third one, is Richard's from Kolpal. Kolpal. It's a tongue twister to me.
Ni hao, Lauris. I'm sorry. My name is Richard. I speak Chinese a bit, only one sentence. So basically, I'm here from Kolpal, the networking app for unfamiliar people. And my story is going to start from me standing in Beijing, on the streets of Beijing, and trying to find my way to the Olympic Stadium. And actually, I have a lot of friends in Latvia, like 800, I guess. But none of them could help me to find the right way, and none of the people could talk actually English around me. So basically, that means that there's a problem, that it's hard for me to find the right persons who could help me in the right moment, like instant help. And it's hard to reach other people outside my existing network. And this is why I saw that there's a problem, and this is why I created a solution. I'm creating a solution, a peer-to-peer networking app that connects the right people at the right moment, so that I could find the right people who speaks English and is from Beijing, is around me, is next to me, and it could help me to find my way to the Olympic Stadium by just messaging or by calling. And this is how it could be done. I would show the right person, the right gender, the age, the nationality, the interests about traveling or something, and I could just specify these needs, and I could find the right person for any situation in my world, in any place and anywhere, anytime. And and this valid proposition for that kind of application would be, for me, it would be like a huge network in new contacts and instant help anytime, anywhere, and fun. So basically, these values mean that I can use Kolpal for dating. I can use Kolpal for finding my couch surfing coaches around the world. I can use Kolpal to ask girls what kind of flowers should I give to my girlfriend if I had one. And so basically, it would be like an instant Siri in your pocket everywhere, anytime. And the market for this, it means that it's 450 million messaging users around the world at least, because this is what WhatsApp has. And how are you gonna make it? I'm gonna earn some money with using a non-existing business model, because I'm still working on it. But I'm gonna start doing it by reaching couch surfers and backpackers all around the world, because this is the best market. Where should I start? I think so, because they are all around the world. They're traveling. They're a pretty small network community, which is easy to reach. And this is how I'm gonna extend my Kolpal network around the world. And my main competitors, there are none of them like direct competitors, but there are indirect competitors, which are the big networking apps and question and answer apps and crazy networking apps like a Snapchat. Why is that? Because they all have many users, and if they would like just to use my logic, showing the people who you need to talk to, they could just use the same principle and be a Kolpal number 2. My dream team would be still me and still my great designer Zana. And what I'm looking here for is a developer, iOS developer, to develop my MVP. And as Lauris mentioned, the developers rock. So if you rock, you can let me know, and let's make this business model work. So that's me. Thank you.
Questions? Any questions from him, from there? Okay, no questions. Thank you. Yep. Thank you, Richard. We have one of the dinosaurs up and speak, and this is front by the Sundays. Dinosaurs, I mean, your You're lasting longer than half a year for Tech Hub. Already you got them. Okay.
Hello. Good evening. So we are Fluent. We are building something that's could be described as a GitHub for web design and web designers. And we're changing the process of web design in the whole world. It consists of two parts. One is the visual tool which runs in a browser, so designers design websites visually without coding. And it just works all around the devices. And the second part we're launching soon is the open source web design platform. We launched less than a year ago, and already now we have around 50,000 users, registered users, who created more than 80,000 projects. We also have amazing investors from Finland. And if you know at least 3 of these things well enough, we are looking for a developer who can join the core team. We are also just started to renovate the coolest office, one of the coolest offices in town. So this is how it's going to look like. It's going to be ready in less than a month. And yeah, we also even pay real money. So we're giving up to 2,200 per month plus equity because we need a plus, an awesome developer. And read more about it on frang.com/jobs. We have a little bit more info there. Thank you.
Any questions to this point? No questions at this point. Okay. Actually, I was wrong again. We don't have 5 talent pitches. We have 6. It typically happens with the last part, which is, you know, the pitch competition. By the way, anyone's going to pitch tonight? Good. Something's building, and I'll explain the rules in a minute for those who are newcomers. I doubt some are, but yeah. So, okay. Now there is a talent pitch for something cool. You can probably start talking.
Or we can do meeting.
Are you sure we won't make it quick? Shall we run the one, because the 6th one doesn't have the visuals. So if you're okay, we run the first, and you just make it happening. Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to make it short and sweet. Hi, my name's Ernest, and I'm on the board of Nifty. Nifty drives it's a Manchester-based company that was one of the most successful Kickstarter startups, and we raised $380,000. Now, if you were in the Tech Chill conference, you would have heard Des Ridyard talk about the experience. We're working on a very exciting project that I can't tell you more about. However, I will tell you that we're looking for an iOS developer to help us create a piece of hardware that will be an app-enabled hardware. So if you're an awesome iOS developer who can do that sort of stuff, come and talk to me. I'll tell you a little bit more.
That was quick, even without any chance of asking public questions. But the trend I'm clearly seeing that the developers rock, but the iOS developers, they skyrocket. I mean, they're in so high demand, apparently. So, are you okay going without the visual? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So this is for Talk to Travel.
Yeah, hello. There is some technical problem, but anyway, I present the project which is which is a trend of the day, the language learning program, which names Talk to Travel. It's made by myself, and it helps to people learn basics of language in 2 hours. Yeah, I'm not crazy, and that's reality. And you can learn any basics of any language in 2 hours. So that program already works on the address talktotravel.com. Since August last year, I have about 150,000 visitors. 30% of them are registered, and since last August we made about 40,000 euros by purchases. And last month we finally get even on the month basis. We made some about 10,000 euros, or plus minus 1,500 purchases. Anyway, we now are selling in Azerbaijan, Armenia, Georgia, a little bit of Russia, Estonia, Lithuania, Latvia, of course, and only on a computer basis. So I'm looking for partners to develop a mobile version of the product. The same problem, I'm looking for iOS and Android developers. So talktotravel.com, and we can pay some money too. Yeah, of course.
Okay, I have an immediate question. Are you looking for like employee or like more sort of a co-founder with a possibility of getting some shares vested at some point?
Different types of cooperation. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's very vague.
Everything is possible. Yeah. Of course, everything is possible, even to get some shares. But at the moment, I have been negotiations with one company, but they have no iOS and Android developers anyway. So if you I didn't mention that in 2011. In a world language learning business made $58 billion, and the potential audience is about 1 billion people, which are abroad travelers a year in the world. So every one of them would like to have such a product, and we have that product. We have to just bring them this product in a pocket. That product already in May will be printed as a book in bookstores. Publishing house Zweizne is printing it already. So yeah.
All right, thank you. Yeah, so that concludes the part of the talent session. Yeah. I clearly see two trends. Two keywords. One is iOS, and the other one is learning languages. Okay, that's for tonight. Before we break for a beer break of like 5-ish minutes, I would love to, just for those who are new here, just to remind what may and hopefully will go on after we get back from the break. That's an idea pitch, and the rules are the following: that there are the ideas from top of your head. In 2 minutes, without visuals, you should be pitching in front of this honorable audience. You'll be pitching the problem, the solution to it, and the business model of your idea, whatever it is. And also non-tech or hardware-ish or thing products or projects are also allowed. Couple of tiny rules. First rule: no existing not a project you're working on in a real life. Okay, the project you're pondering upon, the projects you're kind of trying to think if there is something in it, are okay. Crazy projects are absolutely okay, as we know from the historic performance of those here. Then there should be at least two pitches to hold a competition. There should be at least 3 of them to compete for a glory and also compete for a bottle of red wine. And the maximum pitches we take for one meetup is 5, because I have an excuse. I'm a senile elderly guy. I can't remember the first or the 6th is pitched. Simple. Okay, so think about, so once again, who are going to pitch for sure? 1, 2, okay, it's a competition already, but you have to figure, okay, we take 5 and we'll back here with having some beer, and I'm sure it builds up. It almost always does. So, break now.
Currently, if you want to get high, you have to, well, do illegal stuff. But chemistry, by definition, allows you to cook your stuff at home. The problem is, nobody posts instructions online, so you can't really do it like just at home. You decide one day you want to cook math, and you can't really do that. So the idea is to actually make a social cooking app. You post recipes online, detailed instructions. We've all seen Breaking Bad, so let's suppose chemistry teachers could post the recipes online with detailed instructions. You could follow them, upload the recipes, and cook your stuff at home. You don't even have to pay your dealer or anything. This obviously doesn't work for people who prefer organic stuff, but for anyone with any interest in chemistry, you can mix up anything and get high. And then if it's really good, you can upload it. So the business model is, you can actually, it's donation based. You can donate to the author of the recipe. He gets paid for it. There's benefit for him. We take a transaction fee for that. And you can probably pay with bitcoins, and it's kind of like Silk Road, only legal, because you only post the recipes, you don't actually sell anything, so you only share knowledge. That's kind of it.
Okay, any questions to this point? No, okay, it's a social cooking app. Cooking app.
I have a question.
Yeah, you did, okay, stay here.
I just suggest you build this like GitHub with version control.
At least fatalities on the recipe.
Version, okay, how sinister is that? Okay, yeah, the social stuff cooking app, I would say. Okay, that's the first one for tonight, and then the next one, you go, yeah.
Hello. I'm going to talk to you about feedback. Now, not all of us love it, but most of us appreciate it because it helps us become better at what we do. And in the corporate world and startup world, feedback is quite easy. But there's an area where feedback is very difficult, and that's education. And I'm sure you've all been in the situation where there's the teacher who's in front of you, and you know he's bad. He's been bad for the last 10 years, and everybody knows he's bad. But there's nothing you can do about it. There's no feedback you can give. Now, when I was studying in Manchester, and the university actually had a feedback system. It asked some questions, and then it sort of asked the students to fill out a questionnaire, but nothing really happened afterwards. And I was doing some analytics afterwards for a dissertation I did using that data, and you could really get some really interesting insights. Now, some universities have those systems. Schools generally don't, because they're too small to do that, to build them on their own, right? So what I'm proposing is create a feedback collection system for students in initially schools, but afterwards in universities as well, where you have a list of structured questions that get a certain sort of outcome that could either help you improve the teachers, help the teachers understand where they need to add, or actually help the school staff evaluate the teachers and figure out who gets promotions, etc. And the business model would be you sell it to the schools and later in universities. Now the trick would be to have a really cool analytics engine behind it, because just having the questions, it's what most people do, right? You need to have really cunning analytics behind it to actually give value to the schools and to the universities. And because there are so many of them, you don't need to charge a high annual fee to make it profitable. Any questions?
So, having seen myself a bunch of this data, and I know for a fact that most of the people I know who studied actually replied to a bunch of anonymous questionnaires about their teachers. Manchester, by the way, as well. So they have answered the questions, and the universities don't act upon it. which leads me to believe that the problem isn't that the university doesn't know this, is that they're understaffed as is, and there aren't any qualified professors to put into place if they fire anyone. Which goes the same for the schools. Like, there aren't any really qualified teachers to substitute whichever ones they don't like. Don't you think this is the real problem?
I think that's fair. There are 2 points. So one, in relation to, I think a lot of the universities don't act on it because they don't understand what the surveys are saying. There's just a bunch of surveys that a few kids have filled out, right? Now, if you can actually analyze how it compares to other classrooms doing the same subject, how it compares to other departments, other teachers with the same subject, you can actually draw some insights. I had another part, but I've forgotten about that, so you can't use it to make math, sorry.
One question, yes?
Yeah, one more, which is a bit related to this question, but what's the value for the student? Because from my experience, it's usually you have this course for 1 year, and after that, of course, you can give the teacher bad feedback if he's bad, but you don't get any value from it because the next year you will have another bad teacher.
You selfish Latvian student.
For a greater good.
Well, as they say about Facebook, if you don't pay for it, you're not the consumer, you're the product, right? So the students would be the product. They have to fill it to pass the course. And the school is the consumer because they get the value out of it.
Okay, you have comments or questions? Because you're from the field, right?
Yes, I am. I think this should be really illegal since I'm a professor. But anyway, one comment is French actually have moved that this is illegal, and therefore, the other comment, services such as RateMyProf or RateMyProfessor.com are not allowed in France. What you're going to do about that is one question. The other is how are you different from those other services?
Can I just ask, what's the rationale? Why is it illegal?
Because privacy.
So if privacy is a concern, it would be fully anonymous, right? There wouldn't be any link to the individual students with surveys. It would be grouped by classrooms.
No, the privacy of the professor.
In a business, that wouldn't be a problem. So I don't see why it would be in education.
It's France.
Okay, France.
You're not supposed to learn that he's an idiot.
We're not going to start France. But, yeah. I mean, and in regards to how it's the other apps and how it's different, this wouldn't be a B2C platform where students can go online and post their raving reviews or how sexy the professor is or whatnot. This would be a tool specifically sold to schools and universities to use internally rather than publicly.
Right, but you still need to attract the students to
unless you make them do it.
I have a great workaround suggestion. Please don't just simply don't launch the French version. They don't read English anyway. Okay, that was the education feedback platform. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now you go. Sir.
Hello. Last month I've been to Garage Hardware in Tartu, Estonia. I'm actually a software developer, so I was going to join some team with guys who know hardware. Hopefully this year or maybe next, Garage Hardware comes to Riga, hopefully. And yeah, this time I do have an idea I want to test on you guys, with which I want to go there. Basically, like for example, movie Matrix, where Neo woke up and thought that he knew Kung Fu. Anyways, from movies they use motion capture just to do something on the screen. But why can't we use it to do learning, teaching of movement? So what I want to go to next garage is to build an exoskeleton, but not the kind like in Iron Man, which makes you stronger, but the kind with which you can record your movements, like in motion capture, to your phone, and then replay those, so that exoskeleton makes you move like in previous recording. So yeah, business ideas a lot around this, and that's the idea.
And the money is where? Selling skeletons?
It's teaching. I mean, you can teach remotely with this kind of thing, for example. Because you're, I don't know, Kung Fu teacher who records his moves and sells them through a platform to a guy on the other side of the world.
Good question.
So it's a wearable skeleton, right?
Yes.
Exo. That's exactly what it says.
It's basically a skeleton with servos. Servos record movement, and basically you can feed it back to make.
I buy.
Does that mean that when you're at the consuming end, you're at the sole mercy of whoever is recording the movements to not abuse that power over you?
I was not thinking about this as a real time, but it's an interesting idea. Yeah, it's actually a record that you can watch it in as 3D model and use it on the skeleton.
Okay. So I have one right here. Connect. What about Connect?
Yeah. A very good question. I was actually pretty interested in an application that teach you to, I don't know, do sports or dancing. But thing is that Kinect doesn't give you a good feedback. In a sense that it's like with the phone. You don't feel a button. When you see on the screen that it tells you that you're not moving right, you not exactly know what you're doing wrong. It's not a good way to do a feedback for movement, sadly. It can judge you, but it can't really tell you how to do better.
Okay, any last question? Yes?
Motion capture the same way that they do it for movies with
No, I mean feedback. It's about feedback.
Why?
The skeleton will push you to move. That's the thing.
It's kind of controls you.
So it basically records. It records an offline mode. It records, basically a turned off engine is a dynamo machine. It gives an output. I record it, and then I make engines to do the same movement again in repeat mode.
Actually, I have a question then. How do you accommodate for different shapes and sizes of people? Meaning that I'm really fat guy, but not particularly tall. And there are tall guys who will kind of record this, and it will be kind of a pretty stretch out for me.
We still have same angles and same muscles.
I wouldn't comment on my angles. I wait for cheer from the ladies here.
The point is that some movements can tear your ligaments apart.
But probably that's the market for that. Torturing, I mean, gets in use back in the 21st century. Yes.
So have you thought about some security if I hack the system and control millions of these users?
As I already said, you can review the movements. It's motion capture. You can see let's say 3D video of the movement before applying it to the actual exoskeleton.
Trust.
So you can check beforehand what kind of movements it will make you do.
That's what you think.
So hackers are very proud of it.
Okay, guys, that was cool. I'm really happy and proud we're having some real hardware stuff coming forward. And yeah, I'd say that is, to me, it's the punchline is exoskeleton for movement recording solely for educational purposes. Okay, thank you.
So, hello. We all love to win lotteries. Well, so it is. And actually, to take back in the past, on 3rd grade in school, it was my first business to make lottery. I sold lotteries for 5 centimes to my classmates. They could win a candy, and the last, not the last, but the great prize was a pack of chips. So it was great and awesome, everybody loved it. Why don't we buy lotteries every day? Because we are quite clever to understand that we spend a lot of money, they earn, and actually the possibility to win is really low. 1 to 10,000, 1 to 100,000 or something like that. So another thing, I was in Copenhagen airport and I saw just buy for some 15 euros a lottery ticket and win Ferraris there. Oh great, perfect, Ferrari. But what would I do if I get Ferrari in my garage? So I can't afford it. It's too much. Okay, I can trade it to money, but it's actually like, okay, I want Ferrari, now what? So situation to make is to make a service where you can purchase lotteries, and you always know this possibility to win, for example, 1 to 2,000. And to make it even more interesting, like to take, for example, my car, my used car, 10 or 15 years old, I estimate it for about 2,000 euros. I place it on this service, and if 2,000 people, or for example for 10 euros, 200 people decide, I would like this car, I will spend 10 euros for it. And when I collect all this amount, these 2,000 together, then there is stop of it, and happens this calculation, which one wins this car. So the possibility to win is, for example, 1 to 200, spending only this 10 euros, and you can offer your own products to it. So actually two unique things. One is possibility to see how large possibility for you to win. Another is to sell your used things, like for example, to sell iPhone, I decided 300 lakhs it would be great. So I place it online, and for 10 lakhs for everybody, 10 lakhs probably I will get this iPhone. So 1 to 30 possibilities, that's great. So such service, that's it.
Good. Wow. You didn't want to pitch, did you? Okay. Any question to that? Now, I can read your mind. Everyone thinks of, gosh, why it's not in existence so far.
What about the legal part of it? Have you thought about it actually? Because the lottery and gambling is not allowed even.
Yes, the question about the legal part, about lottery and gambling. We thought about it, and we found out one thing. To get the license to make such lotteries, you need 1 million in Latvia, not in other countries. So you can register this service, like online service, in other country to take part in it. So transaction happens there. Another thing about legal part is like checking this item to provide the service that, for example, 10 people places their cars and nobody collects them. But there is a service that we can approve that this car, we estimate, for example, not for 3,000, but for 2,800. So that's our estimate, that's our stamp, that's how valuable it is.
But it heavily reduces the scalability of that. You have to have some agent who kind of determines if it's not an entire scam. Exactly.
It actually, I would say it's like additional thing. In most cases, for example, delivery goes from that or there, or some services that provides. Anyway, if you have paid so small amount in this moment, then receiving car, which is actually not 2,500 but 2,000, it's quite okay.
I guess the market niche of the segment is really quick sales. If you're okay with something which is slightly discounted from the market price, but you
somewhat reminds eBay with auctions, somewhat.
Except that you lose the money. Everyone's kind of putting the bet on.
Only the winner pays.
And before then about this gambling and these things, the idea is make to as transparent as possible. You, for example, you have this timestamp of the last person who added to it. Then you have public algorithm which will be used to calculate which one wins it. We can calculate from these numbers which one wins this exact item. So in that moment, it's not like lottery anymore. We all the time show here is server time, you published on that time, so 20, 25 minutes, 30 seconds, 0.218. And we calculate this number to get which one is here.
Okay, any last question to that? Yes?
How do you compete with social media actors, enterprises, etc. that are organizing contests, giveaways all the time and for free with no fee?
But you can't get the used car with them.
It's like, it's one of the things that you can get some lotteries and that feeling, yes, probably. But if you can offer your own products on such service, it would come something like eBay, that I sell something used, I take part in something used, and it makes community around this idea. So these two ideas combined together.
The last one.
So after a while, you're going to have very few happy people and lots of unhappy people. How do you deal with that?
I can answer that, but let you can answer. Go first. I can.
So how can I handle few happy? Well, it's like
business. No,
it's
that's
business.
not the question.
It's situations that in each lottery, but if you can manage these possibilities to win in it, so it's like taking lottery. Everybody who takes lottery tries to win, and lotteries exist in all the world.
Okay, my simple comment would be on top of yours, that basically people who play lotteries are kind of the people who typically overestimate their share of luck anyway. Meaning that I don't want to take sides here and now, but I'd say there is a huge business there. Thank you. So, I've punchlines this an item sales made as a lottery. So yeah, the last one for tonight. And just for again those who don't know, we just when the last presentation, the last pitch finishes, by the simple vote of raising hands, you guys decide who gets the bottle of the red wine. Okay, go.
Okay, there's a problem. You live in Jēkabpils, and you need to take a bus to get there. Fortunately, you end up being in Jūrla, in a bar, and there's a couple of things you can do. You can go a few minutes before schedule to wait for bus, and you might catch it. You might try to be in a stop just when bus should be there, and you might miss it. If bus is in traffic jam, you might end up standing like they're an idiot and wandering around. Was the bus a bit too early? Am I too late? Is everything all right with my watch? Etc. So solution to that problem would be that you can actually track the bus you're interested. By tracking the bus, maybe in some ways, kind of features, integration, you could see that the bus is estimated to arrive in X minutes. Possibly you could set some reminders and you never run late for a bus. As for business model, I think my favorite one would be to sell it to Riga Statics, man, for a couple of millions, take 20% and give it back to them, and we're done. That would be preferred method. If that doesn't work, then obviously it will be a free app, and we will just work it on some agreement with the bus companies where they offer this service that will take some small share from those people using that and being in the bus. But we would do all effort to go for option one, so if there's iOS developer, give me a shout.
What I love, what I adore, that in two minutes basically, I don't know because my phone is dead, so I even don't remember who was pitching first. Obviously the one goes for you. Now, I mean, you even had time for mentioning the plan B thingy, right? It was a plan A, go to Riga Statics, and then the plan B, okay, doesn't work out, okay, we distribute it for free. I love it. Yeah.
Hi, so the question is, I know that Riga Statics may already have this tracking devices on all the buses to know which bus and where they are. The question is, do they share the data with, do they have an API actually for you to get this data? Because they have only this timetable, which is often wrong.
I don't know yet if they share it, but the initial idea is that even if they don't share it, we just give some smartphones with GPS to drivers and we get the signal for cheap.
That's a plan C.
And most probably the sad news for you that Riga Statics is working on it already, and they will share this public today.
Are you from Riga Statics?
No, but I talked with one in the industry and he told me about it. It's unofficial.
Great that we have plan B.
Yeah, kick their ass, ruin their business.
They still don't go to Jääkapils, that was the initial problem.
Exactly. Yeah, but that means that the plan A is irrelevant. You can't sell anything to Riga Staticsmith or going to Jääkapils anyway. You're cheating.
I'm sure that Jorma Staticsmith has some similar bonus scheme.
They don't provide service to Jääkapils. Anyway. Okay, whatever. This is the bus tracking app. Thank you. Alright, my phone is dead, so I will have to exercise my memory by remembering in order who's pitching here for tonight. So I believe it was like this. So you have to decide. I will announce all 5 of them and then let's vote. The first was social cooking app for the thing. The second was the education feedback platform. There was an exoskeleton for movement recording solely for educational purposes. Then there was the sales of items made as a lottery. And the last but not least, the bus tracking app. Okay? So get ready. Who's for the social cookbook? You can vote yourself. Don't be shy. Okay. Good, great. Okay, did you vote? No. Okay, you're stretching up. Okay, I go for you because I'm actually one of the guys for decriminalization of a couple of things, but that's not synthetic anyway.
I'm silently the guy who gets caught. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that's it. So who's for this educational feedback platform? I can vote for many. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 3. Who's for exoskeleton for movement recording? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. No, 11, 12. 12 is it? Who's for? You know, guys, what? Yeah, for the lottery thing. Oh, come on, you're overestimating the power of. Okay, whatever. But maybe. Okay.
Never mind.
Should I once again please raise the hands to me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and more. And who's for bus tracking? Yeah. I like the business model. Personally, 1, 2. Okay. What can I say? That's a profit. It's a very special one. It's a special gift from the embassy, actually ambassador of Israel to Latvia. Wow. I think it's not a coincidence that the ambassadors of Israel wine goes to the lottery thing. Okay, great. This concludes the part the official part, and grab another beer if there's anyone left, anything left there. Thanks. I really didn't like that.